What I like about Cadillac Desert is, and rereading it for this event, was just a reminder that the world we inhabit today is not the world we found when our civilization was built. And I think it's important to have that reminder because when you're protecting the environment, we often deal with what's called shifting baselines. As you take for granted as normal what we have today, and then you compromise from there. I think it's important as we design the water system of the 21st century to have in mind what nature was here and what nature needs going forward.
Mike, elaborate a bit just to set the frame as we get into in more detail on the balance between environmental issues and how we think about that, both a little bit of the historical context and what some of the impact has already been on species or habitat. I was struck, again, I think one of you shared a bit of information. There are no male fish in Lake Mead, they're all female fish. And part of the reclamation and recycling of water from Las Vegas feeds back into Lake Mead. While the water is treated, all of the estrogen goes downstream, and so you have lots and lots of female fish in Lake Mead, but no males. You want to talk a little bit about the environmental issues we have to deal with?
Yeah, I mean, I think in a lot of ways, the thing that I'm most struck by in rereading Cadillac Desert, which, you know, for environmentalists is like the Old Testament or something, that's sort of, you know, the list of all the things that went before that created the crazy world we have today. And what I most appreciate in rereading it is just the reminder that the world we live in today in the West is not at all like the world it was. And Austin was referencing that with San Francisco. But I mean, just thinking about California, when you look at old maps, there are huge lakes, Tulare Lake, Owens Lake, that aren't there anymore. Tulare Lake was the largest freshwater lake west of the Mississippi, down in the bottom of the San Joaquin Valley. So there's been a huge impacts to the development of our water resources. And those are impacts that most of us really have no idea of because we sort of look at today, what's today, as if it's normal. And so I think the other piece of it is that all of this really happened before the Endangered Species Act. And in a lot of ways right now, if it wasn't for the Endangered Species Act, nature wouldn't have a voice at the table. We wouldn't be able to assert the some sustainability criteria into the water system as we have it. And I think increasingly we've got to look at things like rivers running dry or groundwater aquifers being depleted, not as nature or environmental problems, but as people problems. Because I think if our rivers reach the sea, that's a sign that our water supply is sustainable for us.